If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to type in chat. I'll have the chat open, so I will be looking at that constantly. And just stop me anytime if you want to ask any questions. You can also unmute yourself with your mic and just talk through there. All right, so we are going to start now. Great. So with this score sheet, I guess the purpose of this workshop is for you guys to know how to do a score sheet and be able to competently do a score sheet by yourself. At the end of this, it's not very hard. There's just a few things that you guys should be noting and making sure that you know what is what on the score sheet. So let's have a look through a score sheet right now. This is one from SVL. If you guys recall this, if you guys seen this around, I know Emily's from ACT. Your score sheet might not look too different from this, might have some different logos, for example, but it should generally look like this. I heard that you guys play 12 sub as well, so the substitutions boxes won't differ too much. So how do we divide this score sheet up, and what are the different sections? I'll go through them individually later on, but just a brief overview now. So we have this top details section where you see what court, what venue, what kind of division, what gender is playing. We have the duty teams with daytime and the teams playing as well. If we go down a little bit, you can see set 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh. Because our SVL is best of 5, same with excuse me. Same with FIVB, it's best of 5 sets. So we have set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, set 5 here. If you look on the side here, it actually shows you what these boxes represent. So we can see that this line here is the number of the starting players. Let me just zoom in a little bit just so you guys can see. All right. And then we have the substitutions. So any substitutions for this particular position will go under this box. Will go under their respective position boxes. So you can see there's 12 boxes here. For SVL, we're playing 12 sub rules. So that means each team for each set can only have up to 12 substitutions. And for these 12 substitutions, each player can only enter the court 3 times. This entry includes the first, the starting lineup, which is the first entry. These service rounds are a little bit confusing, but basically it records the point at which this particular player finishes their serve. I'll explain a little bit of that later when we come to some examples. We have just going down this score sheet, we have the player team list on the right hand side, bottom right corner. We have the teams names abbreviated in usually 3 letters. Team A or B, I'll go into that a little later. The player name and the number. We have the coaches, assistant coach, we have the trainer, and we have the medic. Up to 4, sometimes 5 officials. And we have the signature boxes here. We have the results summary box here. We have a remarks box here. We have the signature names of the officials here. And then we have the sanctions on the bottom left corner. So this is how the score sheet looks like and should look like during SVL and your state league competitions. So let's go into what each section needs to be filled out, how each section should be filled out, and we'll look at a little example at the end of these theory slides. So scorers pre-match responsibilities. Fill in the location, date, and time of the match. For SVL, this is filled out already, so you don't need to worry about this. Fill in the names of the first, second referees and scorer. In SVL, you might not know the first first referee's name. You might know your second ref because you're doing duty with them, and obviously you know your name. So you can pre-fill these ones in. You can leave the first referee's name empty. If not pre-printed, record the starting players' names and numbers. Just their names. In SVL, obviously you don't know their names, you don't know their numbers. You might not know their names, might not know the numbers. So this is up to the coach to fill that. As players are warming up, check that their shirt numbers match the numbers recorded on the team roster. So this is very important because we don't want random people just jumping into the court and playing. We want the actual players with the correct shirts, with the correct uniforms to be playing on that court at that time. So, name, date, location. So when you guys are doing scoring, just double check that these values or these items are correctly listed for your court. Not so much for this part of with the name, date, and location of the tournament, but this next section, which shows the duty team. You don't want to be doing duty for another team or accidentally doing it wrong. You might look at your roster wrong, and you might accidentally sit on for a different duty team. So make sure you check that is correct. But these details are usually filled in for you already. Team roster. So team roster is on the bottom right hand corner, as I said before. If this team list isn't completed, ensure the coach/team completes this prior to the start of the warm-up. So, usually the top 7 players for SVL are already listed on the score sheet. These player names cannot be changed. They can add the 8th, the 9th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th player on this player list. Usually the first referee does it because not all scorers know what their responsibilities are. But because you've gone through this workshop, you know what is required of you. So you can take that initiative. You can help yourself build a good brand for yourself and for your club. You can take that initiative and go to the coach and say, hey, hello, my name is Layman. I'll be your scorer today. Could you please fill this out for me? So what you want the coach to sign, or coach or the captain to do, is to fill out the player numbers, which of the top 7 players. Fill out any other player names that they choose to have on the bench or on the court. Get them to fill the numbers as well. If there's a coach, write the coach. If there's an assistant coach, write the assistant coach. For SVL this year, because of COVID, there's only a coach and an assistant coach. There isn't a trainer or a medic. So leave these 2 boxes empty and make sure that they fill out the coach and assistant coach. If there's a player coach, you have to write the player coach here. They can choose to play and coach, but when they coach, they just have to wear something which is not the playing uniform. They can have a jacket over the playing uniform, that is okay. After the coach/team captain has filled out these player names, numbers, official team list, then they'll need to sign the coach. If it's the coach that's filling this out. If they don't have a coach and the team captain is filling this out, the team captain needs to sign here. And then we repeat for the other team. Hello team, I am Layman, I'm your scorer today. Can you please fill this out? So this must be done before the toss. I know we don't have a very long protocol to do this, but just get the coaches to do this as efficiently as possible so that when the toss comes, this is all filled out. The team captains can sign this area, and then you can check the players' numbers. As a first referee, I check the player numbers during their spiking warm-up. If you can do this before the spiking warm-up, that will help the first referees a lot. Okay. Okay, so after the toss is done, there isn't usually options. There's usually blank circles here. So what you need to do is write A or B. So how do you determine what is A or B? So after the toss, the first referee will come back to the scoring bench and tell you of the results. They will say, team, for example, UTS will be serving from team A. So what's A and B? So from your perspective as a scorer, your score bench, when you look onto the court, team A is on your left side and team B is on your right side. That's default. So you know that, for example, if UTS is serving from side A, then UTS will be team A and the other team will be team B. In this particular example, they can circle it, but in SVL or in most state leagues, you'll need to fill out A or B. At the toss, you'll see the captains arrive and you'll be able to see who is captain. How they determine who's captain is by, game captain is by a strip of tape under their number. Then you'll go to this team roster and you'll circle that number of that player just to indicate that they're a captain. And after they've tossed, team captains will sign here. And this section should be 100% completed and cannot be changed after the toss. After all the signatures are signed, nothing can be changed here. So if they wanted to add another player, they can't do that. If they wanted to add another assistant coach, they can't do that. Nothing can be changed of the team roster after the toss, after the signatures have been signed. Does that make sense so far? Any questions so far?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, okay.
So what if the starting seven, one of the starting seven couldn't come to the bench? Would that change anything?
So you can't change any of the names of the top 7.
Yeah.
If they don't come, the scorer will have to mark off the name, will cross off the name at the start of the second set. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So you don't cross off the name and write another name over it. You just leave it as it is. If the coach wants to add another player, they have to add it for the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th slots, which is available. But they can't add a 13th, or they can't use that 13th player to replace that player which isn't going to be here today.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions, guys? No? Okay, let's move on. So, we are nearly ready to start. The coaches should give their starting lineups to the second referee. The second referee will then give the lineup sheets to the scorer to record on the score sheet. Alright, so the only movement you do really is getting the coaches, team captains to sign the score sheet. After that, you sit quietly or peacefully on your scoring bench. After that, you don't move out of your scoring bench. Anything you need to do, anything you need, lineups, questions, answers, you go to your second referee. You get your second referee to do everything for you. So they get your lineups. If there's any problems with the lineups, you pass that on to your second ref, and your second ref will check with the respective coach for clarity why there is a mistake. So let's go into what a lineup sheet looks like. So your lineup sheet should look something like this. This is the FIVB version of it, but the base looks are the same. So you have your team name here. You have your libre number. You have your positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. For those who don't know Roman numerals, these are Roman numerals for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the most crucial thing is this coach's signature on the bottom. This confirms everything which is on the top. If there's no coach's signature, we can't validate that this lineup sheet is correct. So if you see a coach's signature spot which is blank, give it back to your second ref, and your second ref will chase it up for you. But usually as a second ref, you should look on the lineup sheet just to check first, just as a measure, just as the first level of measurement. All right. So how do you enter the lineup sheet? So you'll enter the player numbers onto the score sheet, starting with the bottom right. So match the Roman numerals, 8, 12, 2, 3, 4, 1. But one thing this slideshow didn't add was you need to make sure that these players on this lineup sheet matches the numbers on the team rosters. So let's have a look at that. So you need to, with your lineup sheet, cross-check the lineup sheet with the team roster and check that players are on the team roster. If they're playing a number which isn't on the team roster, then you can sense there's a problem with that. If you do encounter that situation, you have to go back. You have to go back to your second ref and say this player is not on the score sheet. Please tell the coach to rectify it. And then usually if this doesn't delay the game, the coach usually just wrote a wrong number and then will rectify it really quickly. That's okay if it doesn't delay the game. If it delays the game, that's another issue. Second referee will deal with that and they'll tell you the results of that. So let's continue. The liberos for this set goes here, but in our score sheet, it goes under the timeout boxes. Usually neglected a little bit, but it's part of the score sheet, so enter that in. For Premier's division, it is libero per match. So the liberos usually won't change. The starting liberos usually won't change. Unless they've got 2 liberos, but any other divisions other than that, it's libero per set. So they're happy to change the libero set to set. So just be wary that it might not be the same libero. So remember to check that that all numbers on the rotation sheet are recorded in the team roster list before writing the numbers into the rotation box. Okay. And then you repeat this for Team B. Yes, so we know that for this example that Japan is serving. On the top here, next to the name of the team, there's an S and there's an R. So on our score sheet, next to the A and the B, there's a little circle for S and R. We want to cross out the one that they are doing. Counterintuitive, but we cross off the one that they're doing. So if Team A is serving, then we cross out Team A. S. Team A's S. And if Team B is serving, we cross out Team B's R. With these service boxes on the bottom here, these service rounds boxes here, so these are the boxes where we write a value, the points at which that particular player finishes serving. But because we know that Team B is receiving, that means player who is in position 1 won't be able to serve for this particular round. They'll be able to serve in the next rotation of service, but they won't be able to serve for the next point. So we put a cross on the first service round box. Does that make sense, guys? We put a cross on the first service round box because they're not going to be serving until this person has served, this person has served, this person has served, this person has served, and this person has served, and then they'll get to serve when they rotate to position 1 again. Does that make sense, guys? So you mark an X in the first box of the receiving team. Enter the actual start time of the match. So for the first set, unless there's any delays, usually it'll start on the time at which the roster says. Alright, so time to keep score. Player number 8, Team A, goes back to serve. Place a tick over the small number 1 box under the player number 8. This is to confirm they are the correct server. So what this means is, what we call this is opening the box. This is to keep track that yes, they are the correct server, and the action of closing the box is writing a number in there. So we open it when we confirm that the correct server is serving, and we only close it until that particular player has stopped serving, because that player from that particular team has lost the point. Let's go into some rallies here. So Team A scores 3 points. Cross off the points using a single stroke as points are scored. So points 1, 2, 3. So we're assuming Team A lost a serve. The total number of points scored by the serving team to that point in the match are entered in the box below player number 8's service round box. So you would write 3 here. You write 3 here. Because Team A lost our serve, you automatically give a point to Team A first. Team B. You automatically give a point to Team B because they won that last rally. Cross. And then you would open number 6 if you see that they're in the right, if number 6 is going to serve. Team B rotate and number 6 goes back to serve. Tick off the small number 1 in the box under player number 6. So we've opened the box when we see that number 8 is going to serve, and once they've lost the serve, whatever points they're on, we write it in the box. The act of closing the box is writing that number, writing the number of points, the total number of points that they're on at that particular point in time. We go to the other side, we give them a point first, we check that number 6 is going to serve, and we open the box. Team B scores 4 points. Cross off the points using a single stroke. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So watch as this process continues between 2 sides. So they're at 5 points. They've lost the serve after 4 points. So you write the box. You close off the box by writing the number 5 because they're on 5 points at that point in time. And then you'll go to the other side. You give them a point first. And then you'll go and see if number 12, you look up and you see if number 12 is serving from Team A. And then if they are, then you open the box. And then you watch the rally go. They win 1 point and then they lost it. So you close this box. Write the number of points they're on at that particular point in time. And then give the other side a point. So how I try to keep focus here is I need to know, I need to open the box, I need to close the box, and then I give a point to the other team. If I do these 3 things out of procedure, I sometimes forget if I've given them a point or I haven't given them a point. So try to make sure you keep a certain habit or you keep a certain trend of how you like to do your score sheets. Either it is give a point first and then open and close, But I really recommend opening the box, closing the box first, so you're done with that side, and then you go to the other side, you give them a point, and then you open the box again. This is probably the most trickiest bit in the score sheet, and I want you guys to ask any questions that you guys have here. If it makes sense, if it doesn't make sense, let me know. Happy to explain it again. Do you guys understand this whole service round thing? Any questions? No? Okay. Well, we'll do an example together later on, and then we can get more practice on that. So, in the event of the wrong server going to the service zone, you are to let the player commit the serving fault, then notify the second referee of the service error. Quickly going back, so we open the box if we see the correct server going to serve. If it's not the correct server, we don't open the box. We don't open the box, we let the wrong server serve, and then we notify the second referee. So how you can notify is, you can say, second ref, or you can call their name if you know them. You should know them. Say, hey, Peter, wrong server, and then your second ref will blow the whistle, doop, and then they'll call rotational fault. Usually the first referee might pick it up, and then they'll signal the point to the other team. So in that case, you don't open the box. You only close the box. So, for example, if Team B had a wrong server here, yes, Team B had a wrong server here, you don't open the box, you just write 6 points. You just write 6 points here, and then the point given to the other team. Don't forget that they won that last point, which isn't recorded on the slides. So, don't notify the second referee until the service error has been done. Don't say, oh, it's the wrong server, it's the wrong server. You don't want to let the team in the fault have a chance to realize that fault. They can check for service, like who's serving, but they can't. They don't get that reminder benefit, if that makes sense. All right, substitutions. So remember, we're looking for 12 subs here, so maximum of 12 subs, and 3 entries for each player. So in this situation, player number 9 for Team B approaches the substitution zone ready. The second referee blows their whistle. First thing, check that player 9 is eligible to play on the court. So how do we do that? We check the team roster. Check that. Oh, okay. Player 9 from Team B is on the score sheet. Great. We'll let that substitution go. So you check that player number 9 is listed there. If they are, raise one hand to signal that the player is eligible to enter. If not, don't put up your hand and shake your head. Usually this doesn't happen, but in the case it does happen, just shake your head. Just say no. This is not legal. Great. Yes, this is not legal. So in this example, player number 7 is to be replaced by player number 9. You mark number 9 below number 7. The first column of these 2 columns over here. Okay. Once complete, raise both hands, palms facing out, to signal that you have completed the substitution and are ready to go. So what this means is we're doing this. Okay. So I'm sitting down, and I have my arms up here. You do this after timeouts, after substitutions, at the start of the set, just to signify that you are ready, so the first ref can go. Sometimes you might be stuck on something. You might be stuck on a substitution. There might be double substitution or even triple substitutions that require you to write down the number, write down the score, open boxes, close boxes. So you might not have enough time to do all of that, and that's perfectly fine. Don't put up your hand until you are finished. So I was told, once you drop the pen, you should not be filling out anything else. So you can have the pen in your hand until you finish everything, drop it, and then put up your hand to signify that you're ready. Alright, substitution. The player 9 is then to be replaced by player number 8 for Team B. So you write player number 8 under You check the players list first to see that there's a player in 8, and then you put it under number 9. A reminder, on the 12 sub score sheet, you do not write the score at each substitution. So you write the score at each substitution for FIVB only. Yes, not for State League. Substitution. The game continues. Sorry, not for State League, but for AVL. AVL, and anything above AVL is played 6 sub. Substitution. The game continues and more subs in the same rotational position are made. So, starting the set is counted as the first entry. So 7 has 1, has 2, has 3. So, by the 12 sub rule, a player is only allowed to enter the court 3 times, inclusive of their first entry, inclusive of their starting rotation. So once they've entered, they cannot enter again. So on the score sheet, you circle the 7, and you also let the second referee know that they've had 3rd entries. So you just put up 3 fingers and say 3rd entry, or whisper, or just shout it out to your second referee, 3rd entry for player number 7. You say that. Second referee will let the coach know it's 3rd entry, and will let the first referee know that this player has entered the floor 3 times. So you want to circle here. Just circle in black, not in red, but this is just for animations. This will remind you that this player is subbed off if this player is subbed off the court, they may not re-enter the set. So timeouts. You're allowed 2 timeouts in a game. SVL, you're not allowed for this year. You're not allowed for timeouts in the last 5 minutes of your rostered game. The timeouts are just slotted under the points. You got 2 boxes, and what you want to write is the team at which scored it first, their score, versus the other team's score. So in this situation, the coach from Team A requests a timeout. Team A has 21 points. Team B has 16 points. So in Team A's timeout slot box, you would write the Team A's score first, and then you write Team B's score. You mark the score under the T, beginning with the score of the team that called the timeout, followed by the opposition's score. Alright. Any questions? Any questions? Have I missed anything which is not talked about in the set 1 box? No? Okay. The set's over. Things that you need to do. Alright. Oh, God. So, first thing you should do is give this signal to your first referee. So you're facing the first referee. They should see you. Do this. Because you're the only one who has the official score sheet, who's taking the official score. So you, as a scorer, you're responsible for letting people know, or you should be letting the first referee know that the set has finished. So you do this. If you're sitting on a bench which has a ledge over it, for example, courts 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4 in Janea Netball Center, you're sitting down and there's a ledge over you. Sometimes you're blocked by that. So what you have to do is you might have to do a cross of hands like that, just to signify that the set has finished. The score sheet should be the same as the scoreboard, but sometimes that doesn't happen. There might be technical difficulties, or there might be a bit of lag between yourself and the assistant scorer. So always use the score sheet as the official score. Do this, and then commence doing all these things which lead at the end of the set. So for this set, Australia has won the game 25-23. First thing, look at your watch, write the end time on the side, on the right side of the set 1 box. So the start time is on the left and the end time is on the right. Second thing is, mark an hourglass shape in all the points boxes to cross off any unused points and to block off any further changes. So what this means is underneath the very last point of the teams, put a horizontal line, and then at the very end of this particular column of points, put another horizontal line, and then mark a diagonal line from this corner to this corner and this corner to this corner, just to make an hourglass shape. The purpose, as this is mentioned here, is to block off any changes. So sometimes teams can come back incognito style. They can mark off points and say, hey, we actually won the set. They didn't. But having this hourglass, it's very indicative that there are no further changes allowed. You know, if you were to write a point over it, it'd be very obvious. So we need to do that for both sides. And I understand that you might not have a ruler when you're doing scoring as a duty team. If you have me as a first referee, I'll have that for you, so don't you worry. You can always ask your first referee for some utensils, for some stationery. But in the case that you don't have a ruler, bare minimum, you do this without a ruler. You try to make things as straight as possible, but as possible. Mark these hourglass shapes so you can't have any further changes allowed. After that, you want to circle the last rotation score for each team to block off any further changes. So instead of writing a score here, instead of writing a score there, you don't do that. That is the incorrect way of doing that. I was taught that when I was young, when I started playing volleyball. But you circle these points here. Okay, question for you guys. What will you do if, for example, this was 24, and yes, this was 24, and this team won, and this team won. This team won when number 4 was serving. So I can't rub it out, but imagine there's no number there, and there's 24 there. I'll give you this answer. You would just go to an unopened box. So you go to this box here, and you write 25. You circle it, and you write 23 there. So even though this box hasn't been opened, because you've written 24 there, you can't write over it. So you have to go to the next service box and you write 25 points and then you circle. Something to be aware of because it does happen. So don't cross out anything else. If you see an unused timeout, leave it. If you see an unused timeout, leave it. Don't cross off anything unnecessary. Sanctions. So your sanctions are on the bottom left corner of the score sheet, don't forget. Alright, so there's two types of sanctions. There's a delay and there's a misconduct. So what is a delay sanction? Delay sanction is when you purposely delay the game. So it can be a player, it can be a team, it can be a coach, but this delay sanction is awarded to the whole team. How you record it is you record the letter D on the sanctions box. You can only be given, a team can only be given one delay warning, and any subsequent delays are delay penalties. So delay warning is a yellow card, and a delay penalty is a red card. A red card is a point to the other team. There's also a misconduct sanction. So you can either show rude, offensive, or aggressive behavior. And these are red, these are penalty, these are expulsion, and these is disqualification sanctions accordingly. So it's given to, instead of giving it to a team, like a delay warning or delay penalty, it's given to a player or a coach or an official. Only one misconduct warning can be given, and any repeats of the same misconduct by the same person are the sanctions of the next level. So if I was to swear at the coach swear at the referee twice, I'll be given, it's considered an offensive behavior. I'll be given an expulsion first, and then I'll be given a disqualification. So, yes, you never go down, you always go up, and unless it's a different offense, then you give whatever that offense sanction equates to. But as a scorer, you don't need to know too much of what each sanction means. The second referee will help you. So depending on which card, the second referee will help you allocate those sanctions. So let's have a look at some examples. So when a player, coach, or other team member is sanctioned, you must record the information in this box. Team delay sanctions are also recorded here. To mark the team member at fault, use the player number or coach or C, ACT, or M for other team members in the appropriate box. In the score column, the score of the team who the sanction is being applied to goes first. So let's have a look at some examples. Delay warning to team B. So you write D for delay, and you write team B, and you write score 1. Set 1, for example. This is given set 1, and you write team B score first, and then team A score. Player number 4, team A receives a yellow card. This yellow card is a misconduct yellow card. This is a misconduct yellow card. So you write player number 4 from team A. It happened in set 2. This is the score of team A, and then the score of team B. Coach team B receives a misconduct yellow. So, coach, warning is yellow. P, penalty is red. Expulsion E is red and yellow joint. D is red, yellow, separated. Yes, so coach team B receives a misconduct yellow card. So, coach for yellow, B for team B, third set, score of team B, and then score of team A. So you must be wondering, team B's received 2 yellow cards. But yes, that is allowed. That is allowed. Because this first one is a delay, is on the delay scale, and then this other one by the coach is on the misconduct scale. So they're on different spectrums. So you are allowed to give them 1 yellow of delay and 1 yellow of misconduct. And then coach B receives a misconduct red card. So this is a penalty. And this is team B, third set, and then score of team B and then score of team A. So important note is to record a penalty point is circled on the other team's points instead of ticking it off. So you just circle it, and that's all you do. Alright, we're going to quickly go through set 5, and then we are going to take a break and then have a go at an example. So the starting set works the same as the first and fourth set. To make things easier, let's have a look at the left side of this set 5. So there are, however, some differences depending on the toss. You will have to fill in the team abbreviations, fill out A or B depending on which side of the court the captain chooses at the toss prior to the start of the match. Okay, so you might not have team A starting on the left side. So whatever team starts on the left, you write here. So that's why when we look back at our example here, instead of these boxes being filled, these are empty. So it gives you the opportunity to fill out, like for example, team B is on this side and team A is on this side. And they can serve, they can receive, for example. Sometimes A is on the left side, sometimes B is on the left side. So you need to note that and mark that on your score sheet. I doubt nowadays with SVL being 2 hours, there's a 5th set that's going to happen, but if it does happen in the future, which it will definitely do, please keep this at the back of your minds for now. Okay. So, same thing, enter the start time of the set. Get your rotation slips. So for the first 8 points of the set, only look at the left part of the sheet exactly as you have in the previous sets. So it's not marked here, but Australia's not serving. So position 1, they're not going to have any service. They're not going to receive any points on their first service round. So we open the box for team A, server number 2. You see that they're serving, and then they win a point, but then they lost the point. So you close the box, put the 1, go to the other side, give them a point, and then you see number 1 serving, great. Open the box, they win some points. Close the box, give the other side another point, and then give some more points. Close the box. Give the other team a point, open the box, close the box, give the other team a point, open the box. They do a substitution, check player 3's on the team list, replace number 9, great, approve that, you're ready. They win another point, they call a timeout. Write the team at which, write team A's point first and then team B's point. Alright, so they've reached 8 points. Team A has reached 8 points. Switch courts. Fill the number of points that the left-hand team has scored and copy the starting rotation across. So copy exactly everything that's been. Okay, there should be. Yes. So that 8 has been copied, not removed, as this slide has shown. Not removed. But you copy everything over, including the substitution. Oh, including everything here. Yes, substitution and the service rounds. If you're efficient and you don't want to delay the game too much, you can fill out this side as well as this side at the same time for the first 8 points, or for the first team, for the points before the switch of the courts. Yes. So you copy the timeout over because they're only allowed two timeouts. Alright, and then we continue the game, but now we ignore this left side and we just do these two. Alright, so that sets 1 to 5. Any questions on that? Okay, we good? Let's move on to results. So this is another thing that you guys can be filling out at the end of each set, just so that at the last set, you got all of these filled out already. Don't have to worry about it. You just need to do some maths for the totals, and then you're good to go. Alright, so what does this say on this say? Oh, this slide. Okay, start by entering the team names. Fill that out. So this bottom bit's pretty important. During the 3-minute set intervals, fill out the appropriate information, such that at the end of the set you have to ensure that the box is complete. It is advisable to complete each line at the end of each set. Great. Start by the points won by the teams. So points. W means win. So if they win, they get 1. If they lose, they get 0. S is subs. This is the number of subs they had on each set. T is timeouts. Number of timeouts. Great. And then on the very last row, you total it. Sometimes the game don't play till 5. Excuse me. They don't play till 5, so sometimes 3 set, 4 set, or 5 sets. So in the situations where these rows are empty, you leave them as it is. And then you fill out the match start time, you fill out the match ending time. And you'll also fill out the total match duration. As you go past each set, you can fill out the set duration as well, so that you don't have to have anything filled out at the end. You don't have to rush at the end. Alright, some remarks. What can you write in the remarks section? So the remarks is used to record information such as protests, any irregularities during the match, such as external interference, like fire alarms, equipment malfunctions, etc. A team member does not have the right to write on the score sheet unless given authorization from the first referee to write information about a protest. So basically, generally speaking, you don't allow anyone to modify anything on the score sheet, except for writing out signatures and filling out player numbers and names. So so you want to fill out the winner here as well. So Japan 3-2. If your games don't play till 5 sets, so for example if it's 4 set and they're on 2-2, you just change this number to 2-2, and you write the winner based on how many points they've won. For SVL that is. Now it's time to sign the score sheet. Captains must not sign until this box is complete and the scorer have signed the score sheet. So you sign the score sheet. So signatures, bottom part of the score sheet. Alright, the approval box should be filled out prior to the start of the match if you can. Don't know your first referee's name, that's fine. Second ref, should know. Scorer yourself, you should know. So after the match, you will need to get signatures from 2 captains, first, second ref, but not the line judges. At the end of the match, after the results box has been completed, the scorer signs the score sheet first. You sign it once everything's done, then the team captain signs it. The second referee checks the score sheet, then signs, and then the first referee has the final responsibility to check everything and then sign the score sheet. So some hints and tips. After a rally, watch the ref, not the game. So team A might hit a spike out. You know, you're there to spectate the game, but don't focus on the rally too much. At the end of the day, you're looking at what the first referee decides. They might not be picking out you might not see a particular fault that they see, and their final decision is final decision. Once you've transferred the rotation slip from the lineup sheet to the score sheet, mark the back of the lineup sheet to show you have finished with it and the lineup cannot be changed. Yes. After each set, rip each lineup sheet. Coaches must provide a new lineup sheet each set, and they can't say same as last set. Just for professionalism, it is best practice coaches provide the lineup sheets to the scorer before they cross from one side of the court to one another, so that the second ref don't need to be chasing them up at 2 minutes 30 when the teams need to be on the court. If you have any concerns, the second referee should be the person you should go to. Try to stay in your seats at all times. You usually don't need to move. Let the second referee do your job. Do most of the dirty work for you guys. Alright, and that's it. That's it for the theory section. Any questions on the theory part, guys? No? Okay, great. Let's have a 5-minute break. Go to the loo, get some drinks, get some food, and then we'll come back and we'll do an example. Alright, if you have any questions and you want to ask in this 5-minute break, feel free to. I'll be here for the majority of the 5 minutes. So let's come back at 10 o'clock. Okay? When you guys come back, let me know. We don't need to take the whole 5 minutes if you guys don't want to.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Rena. Alex joined us a little late. That's okay. Alex, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Shoot. Alright, it's 10. Let's have a go at the scoring practice. So, just a quick raise of hands with that raise of hands function. Can you guys let me know if you guys had a go at this? If you didn't have a go at this, that's fine. I'll have a go at it. Well, we'll have a go at it together, and we'll go from there. Anyone had a go at set 1? Show of hands. No. Alex, well, thank you. Emily, thank you. It's okay, not a name and shame, but just want to see how many people have done it. That's okay. Let's get started. I'm gonna have it a little bit interesting way of doing this. So, get this out of here. So I'm not a teacher at all, so I don't have much experience doing a score sheet on a computer. So I had to go at it yesterday, and it's very messy. So hope you guys can forgive me. But I have these tools here where I can draw and stuff. So we'll be going through that together. So if you guys haven't already, this is a scoring sheet practice. Scoring sheet practice. This is the final details, but I don't really want to go into that, so I'm just going to skip over it. So these are the match details. Usually you fill out your score sheet with these details, and you just copy and paste and fill the top box here. I'm not going to worry about that because SVL State League usually filled out already. Sitting at the score bench, you wait patiently to get to know around your environment around you. You see a score sheet in front of you. Coaches and players rush to fill out the team players' names and numbers. Or yourself, you rush to get the coaches to fill it out. All right. Official team players list and player lists and officials list. You would have to physically one by one write these into here, but is the score sheet that I sent you guys filled out already here, or is it empty?
It was empty.
It's empty. Okay, I will fix that up. That's okay. No problem. Player list empty. That's all right. So you'll fill this out. I'm not too fussed about it in this particular example because of time. We're just going to go straight into the scenario and see how do we score. All right. So I'll give you the answers here. Right. So imagine this is filled out already. Player number 17 from Australia and player number 13 from China are captain. You see them doing tasks. You circle their numbers here on the score sheet on this team roster. China wins and chooses to serve. Australia chooses side A. All right, choose side A. Not a problem. So let's fill that out now. So Australia chooses side A. So Australia is A. So for example, A is Australia. So this is the part that you have to fill out. So if you guys are not doing it with me already, you can fill this out with me. So you guys feels like we're doing this together. So choose the side A. China's serving. So Australia is receiving. So you cross out the R for Australia, and because China's B, you write China there, and China's serving. So immediately we know that whoever's in position number 1 do not get to serve on their first service round. So you cross that out. Cross that out. These are the lineup sheets. If I'm going too fast, guys, slow me down. Happy to wait for you guys. If you guys haven't caught up already, just unmute to say, hey Layman, can you slow down? Or you can type in chat, can you slow down? Happy to wait. So copy these rotations down here. So Australia, A, 17, 13, 5, 2, 4, 12, Libero, 11, signature, great. So before you do this, you check the players list first. Check the players list first. I have checked it because I have done this example many times. But check the players list first and then write the numbers down. China, check players list, write the numbers down. 13, 8, 15, 9, 3, 1. Libero, number 2. Alright. Have we all written down the starting lineup?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No issues there. If you have issues, raise up and then we'll wait. If you don't, let's keep moving. Alright. So, I'll try to go slower. If I'm going too fast, let me know. Alright. So, the referee blows the whistle, authorizing the first serve at 7:13. Game was delayed due to previous game ending late. So, we write in the starting time, 24-hour time. So that's a 19, and that's a 13. And we write in the remarks here, game delayed due to previous game ending late. Due to previous game. You can just write due to previous game. Alright, so play number 13 from Team B serves. Alright, so first team, open the box. So 13 on Team B, we open the box. They serve, and they win 3 points before hitting the ball out. So they win 3 points. So they win 3 points. We give them 3 points. So in this particular example, you don't get to see point by point. You see a collection of points before it moves on to the other team serving. So we give them 3 points first. 3 points, and then they hit the ball out. So that means on that third point, number 13 finishes serving. So he or she doesn't serve until he doesn't serve until the next round of rotation. So you write here 3 to close off the box. 3 points because they're at 3 points, at the time that 13 loses the serve. Great. Go to team A, give them a point first, and then you check. Okay, player number 13 from team A serves. Okay, serve. That means we know that we've checked the box. We've checked the server. They are serving, so we open the box first. They serve the serves into the net. Okay, so they serve into the net. Yes, serve into the net, so that's 1. We close the box, we're at 1. We give the other team a point first, and then we go and see, okay, team B, number 8 serves, so we open the box, and we give them, and they win 2 points. So we give them 2 points, and then we assume they've lost a point after that, so they're on 6. They're on 6. Give the other team a point. Number 5 is serving. Number 5 is serving, correct. Open the box, and then jump serve 7 points in a row. Jump serve 7 points in a row, wins. Yes, wins. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're assuming that after that, they lose. So, number 5, we close the box with 9 points. Go to the other side. We give the other team a point first, and then we check. Number 15 is serving. Great. We open the box, and then team B serves 2 points. Team B serves 2 points. 1, 2, serves 2 points. Sorry guys, can you guys see my score sheet? Is it blurry? If you want me to zoom in, raise your hand. I can zoom in.
It's fine.
It's fine. Thank you, Lucas. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, so they're on 9-9, and the coach of Team A requests a timeout. So we write the score of Team A, and then the score of Team B. So 9-9. Play resumes with Team B, number 15, serving the ball into the net. So, we close off this open box with 9 points. We give the other team a point first. We check that number 2 is serving. Number 2 is serving. And they win 6 points. They win 6 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then Team B's coach requests a timeout. So go to Team B's section and you write their score first. They're on 9 points. And then the other team is on 16 points. At the end of the timeout, Team B's player number 5 steps into the substitution zone, holding the paddle number 5. So, AVL above, they use paddles, and you got to hold the paddle of the person that you're substituting for. So, in this situation, number 5 cannot hold number 5 because he cannot sub for himself. But everything is stopped. The second referee makes eye contact with you as a scorer, and you confirm this is illegal. So by the fact that number 5 has stepped into the substitution zone, they are requesting for a substitution, and the second ref has blown the whistle to stop the game. The second referee waves Team B, player number 5, away. What should the scorer record on the score sheet? There's a little bit of hint there. There's a delay. But what kind of delay are we giving? Because it's their first delay, we write D on the warning. We're giving them a delay warning. And this is for Team B. And then this is for set number 1. Score 9-16. Moving on. Play continues with number 2 serving 3 more points before Team B wins the point. So Team A, number 2, serving 3 points. So 1, 2, 3. So 19. They lost a serve at 19. So you write 19 here. Go to the outside. Give them a point. Number 9 serving next. Oh, okay. We don't open the box just yet because there's a little bit of action going on. This time, Team B, number 5, carries paddle number 3. Team B, number 17, carry paddle number 15, enters the substitution zone. So first thing, check the players list for their numbers. They're good, you let the substitution go on, and you write in the box, number 5 is for 3, and number 17 is for 15. Oh, God, sorry for that awful writing. Alright, the set continues with Team B, number 9, serving. Okay, so Team B, number 9, okay, great, serving. So you open the box, serving for 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Before Team A attacks the ball and wins the point. So we close the box for number 9 at 13 points. And we give the other team a point first, and we don't open the box because there's a bit of drama happening again. So Team B requests the reverse of the double sub. Alright, the reverse of the double sub. So 15 for 7. So after the first sub, if they're coming back on for the same person, you don't have to check because you've checked that first time already. Okay. Is everyone up to where I am? Where am I going too fast, going too slow? There is another slide for this. Okay, I'm assuming everyone's good. Let's keep moving. Alright, so Team A, number 4, serves. Okay, serves. We open the box first. And misses badly. So we know they lost the point, so they're on 20. Point to the other side first. We don't open the box because there's a bit of drama happening. So the serve hits the coach of Team B in the face of the sideline. Team B's player number 1, angry at his coach being hit, yells through the net at Team A. The first referee calls the player number 1 and holds up a yellow card. The referee indicates that the player number 1 indicates to player number 1 Team B. So this is a sanction, a yellow card, so a warning for Team B. So we have a player number 1 for warning, and this is to Team B. This is all in set 1, and the score right now is 14. Score is 14-20. 14-20. Great. The Team B's coach sends player number 6, holding paddle number 15. So player number 6, check number 6. Number 6 is on the score sheet. We tick that. That is awful. And 7 holding a paddle for number 1. We check number 7. Check 7 is good. To the substitution zone. The referee allows a substitution. Alright. Team B, number 3. Number 3 serves. Great. We open the box. and wins 4 points before serving the ball out. So 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're on 18. We give them a point. 21. Is number 2 serving? Oh, that's a 12, sorry. Team A serves, Team A, number 12 serves and wins 2 points. 2 points. Team B, number 6, doesn't agree with the referee's decision from the last point. He goes to the second referee and argues. He then continues yelling at the first referee about his decision. The first referee holds up a red card and indicates player 6 from Team B. What does the scorer need to record? Alright, so it's a red card because they've already received a warning for misconduct. So it's a red, so we give that to player 6. It's to Team B. It's set 1, and the score is 18-23. So because it's a penalty, Team A receives a point, but instead of crossing it out, we circle it. We circle that point. Great. So it's set point. You're not obliged to tell them. You should be notifying the first ref, like subtly, like doing one of these ones. Team B coach sends player number 15 holding paddle number 6 back to the substitution zone. So we write 15 under that. So the 6 shouldn't be taking up 2 boxes. They should be taking up 1 box. All right. What do you guys notice here? So 15's entered once, they've entered twice, and now they're entering for the 3rd time. So first thing you need to do is circle 15. You should circle and then inform second referee it's 3rd entry for this particular player for 15, number 15. And then Team A number 12 continues to serve, and one more point is 1. So 1 more point is 1. And that's end game. So the time is, so you write 25 here, circle, and then they're on 18, so they're on 18 there, you circle. The end time is 7:41, so you write 19:41, and then you would use your ruler if you have one. If you don't have one, that's okay. Try to make your lines straight, top and bottom. That's an hourglass, by the way. Awful. So that's an hourglass. And then you do the same for the points which weren't used on this column as well. So very clearly have that horizontal line there, and then also very clearly have a horizontal line there. Don't worry guys, I'll show you guys something I did on Illustrator. It's using straight lines, so it's a bit more neater. But yes, so this is what your first set should look like. I hope everyone got the same as I did. But this is what it should look like. Just looking on the left here. Oh. Don't worry about any other set, just look at set 1 and the sanctions and the remarks. Did everyone get that? Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. There is a set 5 question as well here, but because of time, I won't have enough time to show it. But it is there. I do have the resources available for the answers there. Oh, the answers on these resources, on these slides, on these PDFs. Oh, it is there. Nice. Okay. I'll leave set 5 for you guys to have a go at. And there's answers here, which I'll share. And if you have any questions, let me know. But that wraps up the scoring workshop, guys. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask? I know there's a lot of things to take in, but the most important thing on a score sheet, I reckon, is the service rounds, as I mentioned before. So just remember the act of opening the box, closing, giving the other side a point, and then opening the box again. So just remember these four things. Try to do them in an orderly fashion so you don't forget. And I think you guys will be doing great. Any other questions before we end it here? No? Okay, let me stop the recording, and if you guys want to ask any questions,